Hello Cuzzlings, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Leanne and this is Lecosanne, my big happy adventure. So I've decided to record using my computer setup just because it's a little bit easier for what I'm going to be doing today. And I feel like I meant to be doing this a few months ago, but I kind of ghosted you all. And as I'm about to stream and I'm already set up, I thought it would be a really good time to go through where we're at. Basically, I want to start bringing the bullet journal content over here on YouTube, and what better way to start off with actually going through my first two bullet journals. These I started them in November. I've got a blurring filter on my camera, but I started these in November. They go all the way through to the beginning, a few months ago actually, and we're going to do it in two parts. So the first part, we're going to go through my first bullet journal, and I'm just going to sort of explain my thought process and my feelings and all that sort of stuff as I was doing it. If that's the sort of thing that you're looking for, or if you're here from streaming and you want to have a look through my first bullet journal, please keep watching. Okay, so this is the second time I'm actually recording this, because the first time I did it, I didn't really allow myself enough time to describe everything that was going on. So here is my first bullet journal. It is a yellow leather, faux leather hardback one from the shop, Flying Tiger Copenhagen. The design on the front just mimics a dot notebook, and obviously I wrecked the front of it by doodling all over it. It's got two ribbons on it, which I find absolutely essential, and it also has a stretchy thing, which by the time it got to this point I really needed this. This journal I am so proud of. I made so many mistakes on the way, and using this journal probably taught me to be the bullet journalist I am today. But let's go through it and explain everything as we go. So here on the first page, I actually just stuck in a sticker of something that just says "Being Lecosanne" on it, and these are my emotes on my channel. I was very proud of them. I just wanted them to have the higher pinnacle place. I then just left this page blank because you can't really do anything with it. In future journals, I have just stuck it to the first page. Moving on, I always have a thing for this quote. I've used "Life is an awfully big adventure" a lot, and when I tried to attempt to do my first go at doing a bullet journal, this was one of the first quotes that I used in it. I've written on here the date that I started the journal, and just to remind myself that there was no pressure to complete, and the reasons why I'm doing this. I decided to start doing this on stream just because something different sort of content, and I really wanted to start bullet journaling. Here's my first page. Obviously you can see it's not very arty. It's a case of I've written "No pressure, only when you feel it." Little did I know, a few months on, pretty much 8 months, nearly 10 months on, I would be doing my journal every single day without question. And that is what I love about bullet journaling, is the freedom to be able to do that. Here we've got an index, which basically I went back and refilled this, and there's a little key here as well. This is what a weekly spread is. This is basically a weekly spread. It explains what the week is, and you fill it in a bit like a diary, a little bit like a file of facts, a little bit like this is where productivity meets creativity, and this is where I literally started. And I'm very proud with how this turned out to begin with, and what we ended up adapting it to in the end was just something phenomenal. Here we go. We've got a first page here. It's a brain dump. I like this idea, but I've adapted to this how I'm going to redo it. And then we started on what I would call my first welcome page. This is something that I've actually continued throughout the rest of my journals, and you'll see in the next bullet journal video how I've done this and how it adapts over this. So this just says "Hello December," and then we've got our first calendar spread. So again, it is making my own calendar. I've written on here my work shifts, I've written when birthdays are, I've written when videos are going up, I've written when I'm streaming. Just basically it's a productivity tool. Then we started off with goals. This is something that I very quickly stopped using because I don't want goals to progress towards. I would rather have visions and ideas of things that I would like to do. And I've got obviously content and then life one. and a few quotes. You'll see a lot of quotes throughout this journal because that is something that I wanted it to be. It turns more into a craft journal more than a bullet journal. Here is a spread about my YouTube and my Twitch. And then this is a journal, this is a spread called Spread Your Rings. You'll find this in pretty much all of my journals. It's basically a list of journaling tools or things that I want to track. And it's also there's a lot of tape in this journal because I sort of overloaded it. Again, a quote break. The good thing I like about using these journals to look back at is I know exactly from the style of things that I've written on the page where I was in my head at the time. This quote came about because something had happened that had triggered off something in me, and I just needed to remind myself that everything was going to be alright. And this is why there is like so many quotes about if you don't like the road you're walking on, just start paving another and that sort of stuff. We then got another weekly spread. At this point, I hadn't actually decided what I wanted to do with it. So you can see that I've got like loads of different styles and I'm just experimenting. That's the one thing with bullet journaling, people think that it always has to look perfect, but it doesn't. And prime example is my pen test. Look at how messy this page is, but I love it. So these are the first pens that I started with. I got some cheap pens off Amazon. I am going to be doing a pen haul and I'll go through all the sort of pens that I do use on my bullet journal. But this is what I had. I used what I had to begin with, and this is what I created. We then have my birthday spread, and the way that I've done this in every single journal is I have started it in the month that I am currently in. So in this journal, it's December to November because that's the way that it looked. Also, we were in December, so I needed to do a plan for Christmas things. I just used some washi tape to cover up anyone's names, numbers, anything like that. And then again, another arty spread just for, this is a really nice quote actually, and I will probably end up using this again, but it was obviously Christmas dinner. Again, another weekly spread. I particularly like this weekly spread. It's one of my favourites because I've filled in the gaps with as many stickers as possible. Then my first real art spread. Now, I think I did this whilst I was watching one of my friends' live stream, and it is basically me documenting my Animal Crossing islands. Also, this sticker here is Holly's cats. That's hilarious. I didn't even realise I put that in here. Lilo and Stitch in Animal Crossing. But these are basically my animals on Animal Crossing on both islands in December 2020. Again, just another quote break and a study plan. It didn't really want to work because I ended up stopped doing my studying. This quote is one that I have put in every single journal that I have ever done. It's something that really stuck with me. I can't remember when she said it, but my good friend Holly, Froggy Holly on Twitch, Holly Crossing over here on YouTube, but she's not really doing much over here anymore these days. It's all on Twitch. She said something very, very, it just stuck in my head, and she said, try to surround yourself with people that make you want to do better. And it just made me feel like I'd found my people, and it's the reason I ended up staying on Twitch, to be honest. Again, another weekly spread. You can still tell that I'm experimenting with what I want. I like this spread, but it looks a bit too much like my old school homework diary, to be honest. Again, another spread here. At the time, I was very into watching this content creator, and I really liked what their handle was, so that's what I've written this on here for. And again, at the end of the year, what was I thankful in 2020? 2020 was a bit of a weird year, but I just wanted this in here. This is a spread of me testing how to do lettering, like when I really started to take bullet journaling seriously. I put it in here. Again, more quotes, more practicing, lots of washi tape use. You'll find that in my journals. That's what I do. And we went to a single page spread. This is a pinnacle because I decided that if I did this, I could do more on a weekly spread. Again, more doodle breaks. Single spread. I think I actually did this spread and this spread in the same week, and I didn't actually stream it. I think I wasn't streaming at that point because it was the end of the year and I had too much to do. Again, I don't know what this is about, and this is like cut out. I don't know. This is what this journal is, and this is what my journals are. I do what I feel at the time, and I just learned about Dutch doors, and that's why there's a big bit cut out in this one. And then we move on to Hello 2021. I didn't want to start a new journal because I had this much room in this book, so I just continued. We've got a second index because we started a new year, and there's even a picture of me in here. And then we move on to January at a glance, and this is what I mean about doing visions. I went from doing goals, I did things that I wanted to do in my journal, things that I've got coming up, what's happening, and how I was going to manage it. Again, another quote break. This is actually from one of my mods on Discord and on Twitch. He said this in his own server, and I really, really liked it, so I put it in here. Again, single page spread. Again, more ideas, and this is basically what it is. This is what bullet journaling is all about. At this point, I completely ditched YouTube, and this was planning from January 2021 what was going to happen. At this point in life, I'd just quit my job at the hotel. I was really just like riding the wave. It was very strange, but here we go. A moment to remind me that breaking is all okay. I will do a video at one point on how it all changed me and all that stuff, but yeah. Again, we reused this spread because I really like the way that it looked. I like this spread. It just doesn't give me a lot of room to do anything else, and you'll see that later on what I mean. Then we planned my 12. Well, I say we a lot. I do it a lot on stream as well. I planned out what my birthday was going to look like, and then on stream I did a 30 facts for 30 years for my birthday, and I think I did this all on the live stream, on my 12-hour live stream, because we did some bullet journaling. No, not on my 12-hour, I don't know, but we did some bullet journaling on my 12-hour. I then did some trackers. I very, very have quickly discovered that doing trackers is something that I don't want to do in my journal, but that's a story for another day. Then I decided that I was going to teach myself how to draw this year. So there's some drawings in here. Again, I actually upgraded my pens to some new pens. Again, I will show you all these in a later date. And then to ground myself, routines. I literally, at this point in time, I was off work. We were in lockdown, and I really wanted to make sure that I was doing things on a stream day and a non-stream day. I'd really started streaming as like an actual tool to deal with lockdown, and I planned a return to YouTube, and it hadn't happened at this point. Again, a single page stream, and I think this is what we actually did on YouTube, because this is what we actually did on stream, because I had my 12-hour stream on my birthday, so that was fun. These were all the things that happened in 1991. Again, a Netflix spread. I liked it, but it's not great, so I would like to 60 days in season 2. What is that about? Oh, 60 days in season 2. Right, okay. Anyway, so this is a Netflix spread. I don't really like this spread, but this is the thing about bullet journaling, I've been able to experiment. Again, could you tell how old I was this year? Another big event for January was I got to take part in raising money for direct relief for COVID funds, along some amazing creators as well on the platform. It was the first time I'd done anything like this, and I decided that I would doodle everybody's favourite characters from Animal Crossing, and these are all the people that donated on the stream, so it was really important to me to actually put that in here. Again, another weekly spread. This was a moment when I decided that I could do this. For my birthday, I actually got given a Perry Page thermal printer, and this was basically what I wanted it for my bullet journal. And this is, you'll see all the way through how I used it. This is a spread that I would love to redo. I did a musicals that I've seen spread. I actually turned it into 2 pages. Then I did a Minecraft spread. and then we're into February. So again, we did the same sort of things, visions to do. There's a full like calendar here, another weekly spread. And then this is when I decided that we were getting to the end of a journal here, and I really wanted to write down what my thoughts were about journaling. And I sort of deemed the Lecosanne Buju method, even though I spelled bullet journal wrong, but that's okay. These are just things that like I want to take with me in every journal, and I've managed to so far. So it's things like be creative as you like, embrace the mess. It's like, it's not about the way it looks, it's about the process and the way it makes you feel. Track when you want, make mistakes. Do you know how hard it was to write mistakes wrong? When the joy stops, stop and be realistic. There's no pressure. It's your journal and it's your journey too. And that's my whole like ethos for journaling. Doodling, smudge and metal. I love these so much. I would love to recreate these. I just not got round to it. You'll see why in the next journal page. And then I've skipped. Anytime I've made a mistake, I've stuck pages together. But then this is when I really discovered a spread that worked for a weekly spread. So I had the weekly plans in the middle. Down the sides, I had my trackers. I had a calendar. I had a doodle. I had a word a day thing and a quote. And this is a thing that came into every single page, like every single weekly spread for a very long time. Another quote break. And again, here you go. And this is when it started to become really useful. And I was using it as a real tool. At this point, we were in the thick of lockdown, and I was in a really good routine with him when it came to doing my bullet journal. One of my favourite spreads I've ever done. I did it for Valentine's Day, which is the day before Valentine's. And then, yeah, here we go. So let the seasons... Then this is a spread that I'd love to redo now that I've learnt to draw a little bit better. The quote itself is really good. It says, let the shifting seasons remind you that there's nothing meant to bloom all the time. It was a case of that something had happened again in the community. This is the whole thing about this. I remember how I felt when I did these spreads based on the way that the spreads look. Again, another weekly spread. I absolutely love this. And I think this is the final weekly spread, because after this, we've got a migration plan and the Cosbean journaling method. So what I mean by this, so these are things that I want to use again. Things that won't work out again. These are things that I want to try. And then these are things that will be in every single journal sort of thing. And then I just wrapped it all up with a quote. And I've done this in my second journal, which you'll see soon as well. And the quote itself is, when you make loving others the story of your life, there is never a final chapter, because the legacy continues. You lend your light to one person and they shine it on another and another and another. And I just really liked it. Then in this journal, before we finish, just want to show you what I've done with the dead space. Basically they become list books at the end of this book. So there is a few pages in here. I didn't really give myself enough room to be able to use this again, but that's what this is. Then I have a load of like appendices in here. I made myself a list of who I was subscribed to at the time. It's a case of this was a case of just reminding me who I was subscribed to and like when their subscription was due up, so I could try and get it on, because I just went through a phase of just buying subscribing to everyone. Then I've got my medication tracker here. Yeah, just ignore the fact that I didn't colour it in. I gave up using trackers, okay? And then we have grids and things. This is just to help out measurements, which I won't have to use again. If you saw my stationery haul last week, you'll know why I won't have to use this again. And then this is just the end of the journal. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed it. Bye. So that's that then. So that was my November 2020 until February 2021 bullet journal. I am recording my second one straight afterwards, so I we'll have, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, 2 videos going up, one after the other, so that you can just see where we're at, and then we'll go on to tips and tricks, things that I've learned along the way, mistakes that I've made, and that sort of thing, as I really want to sort of bring this content over here. It's just so easy to do, and I love the mix of creativity and the mix of productivity that bullet journaling does. If you did like this video, please let me know by putting a thumbs up on it. It really does help me out, and it lets me know that this is the sort of content you want to see from me. Also, please leave a comment down below if you have started journaling, if you've got any tips or tricks or all the sort of content that you would like to see from this. And without any further ado, I will see you next time. So keep living that big happy adventure, Cosling. Stay positive, and until next time, you know, I don't know when that's going to be. I'll see you then. Bye guys. Bye.